Welcome back to another Rocket League video, everyone. I'm Coach Aero with Game Gym, and in this one we're going to be taking a look at a mechanic that is absolutely essential to learn. In Rocket League, being able to generate a lot of speed and power on a touch is a very powerful ability, and that's where our video topic comes in, the half volley. For this video's warm-up, we're going to be doing it in two parts. For the first part, go into free play for 5 minutes to warm up your mechanics, and for the second part of our warm-up, we will be playing one ranked game, which can be any of the three game modes of your choice, 1v1, 2v2, or 3v3. I want to stress that anytime you get on the game to play ranked, you should make it a habit to always do a little bit of free play before you play, even if it's just a few minutes, as you will see better results from your individual performance in your games. A half volley occurs when you hit the ball immediately following its bounce off the ground. I'm talking instantly. This isn't to be confused with the volley, which is hitting the ball right before the bounce. When timed right, you will be able to generate a lot of power on the touch that you get. Because of the power that we are able to get off of this kind of touch, there are a few key applications for this mechanic that are incredibly useful, and we're about to discuss those. There are a few main uses for the half volley on the ground. Because of the instant power we are able to generate, it is naturally useful in three key areas: clearing the ball, shooting the ball, and to make it awkward for the opponent. Let's say, for example, my team is being boost starved on defense and we are struggling to keep the ball out of our net. If the ball is coming my way, I would half volley it to bang it into the opponent's half. Even though the other team will most likely regain possession from this, it would give my team valuable time to regroup and get boost. For shooting, it's of course useful because of the power we can generate, making the save harder on the defender. Finally, a half volley is a great tool to utilize when you want to make a play awkward for a defender. What does this mean? Let's say my defender is in his net. I could use the half volley to slam the ball high off of his backboard to make his job of defending much harder, because his read from our hit off the backboard from that position will be incredibly difficult. Alright guys, now what we're going to do is we're going to be taking a look at one of my replays in which I utilize the half volley to make it awkward for a defender, and we're going to break down my thought process and how you guys can apply this. Now, you're going to see that this is a half volley off the wall, not off the ground, like we've been talking about, but the principle is the same, and you could apply this to the same situation if the ball was bouncing on the ground. I just want you to keep that in mind before we get going here. So, as you can see, A-Pig ends up, Kuro ends up giving the ball away here, right? And first order of business right about here is for me to identify where the defenders are. That's always the first step. That's how you get a productive touch. You have to know where the defense is. So right here, Kuro and A-Pig are both on the ground. The blue team's third is nowhere to be found. So I can see that the backboard is wide open. And the best mechanic to utilize a quick attack at that space that I see is the half volley, because like we talked about, it's a very good way to instantly generate power. So you can see that we quickly attack the weakness. A-Pig is not going to be able to read that. That is a very tough read for any player, even an RLCS player. So he ends up missing that, and what we've done is we have successfully exploited the defense's weakness. We've identified and then exploited, and the best way to do this was with a half volley, so it's a great illustration for this video. There's one more application of the half volley that we will discuss in this video, and that's the half volley off of the wall. Much like its off the ground variant, a half volley off the wall occurs when you hit the ball right after its bounce off the wall. You typically see this being done at the higher ranks because the timing window is so tight to get a good touch that you can oftentimes end up just whiffing the ball and looking very silly. What we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at one of my replays to show you guys a scenario where this is useful. Alright guys, now what we're going to do is take a quick look at an in replay example of a half volley off the wall and how it can be used to instantly pass to a teammate because of the power you can generate, right? So we can see right here that Bull bangs this mid. I'm there perfectly ready for it. And this is just an absolutely beautiful play right here. Good trust from both players. And you guys can see how tight the timing window is, because if Bull is a millisecond later or earlier to this ball, he's going to end up whiffing it. He's going to, fly off the wall. It's going to look really bad. And it's probably going to go in the blue net, right? Because you can see Braywood kind of hanging out in space right there. So this is just a good illustration of how useful that this mechanic off the wall can be in moving the ball and ball movement. but the timing window is very tight, so this is something that we will have to build up to. Now we're going to be practicing the half volley with one of the specific applications that we talked about, clears. Like we talked about, learning to clear the ball with a lot of power via the half volley can really help your team out when being attacked on defense, so that's the application I want us to focus on practicing now for this one. Jump in this training pack and try to get as much power as you can with your hits. To reiterate our most important points, a half volley is defined as hitting the ball directly following its bounce off the ground or wall, and is used to generate powerful touches. The main point I want everyone to remember is that when we're on defense, this is a great tool to use to get a huge clear. Being able to clear and hit the ball with a lot of power is something that will immediately juice all of my plat, ranked, and lower players to more wins. Thanks for watching, everyone, and stay tuned for the next one.